Hello friends, welcome to Trials of Sanctuary, an Overwatch scorerunner's definition of insanity. I want to tell you the absolute catastrophe of an adventure this mode was for my team and I. This mode is a mess, and that's an extreme understatement. I spent about 100 hours in this mode, which is more than anyone should spend in 50 lifetimes, and I still don't understand this mode. Every time I met someone I had to tell them this game sucks. Because it fucking sucks. Let's start with what we know. There's a total of 6 stages, all of which have their limits on getting points. There's 4 ways to gain points: survival, objective, time, and kills. Most simple is survival bonus. You get 700 per stage if you have no deaths. Per death, you lose 175.5. It resets back to 700 after a stage is complete. Why is it not an even number? Who knows? Time bonus. You think this is simple, right? Yes, but no. Figuring out time bonus is unnecessarily difficult. Stage 1 and 2 is simple. It shows how much you get. After a few runs, we can simply estimate by doing math. But everything else? No. Why? The fucking cutscenes! They cut out before you're told what bonuses you get! Except when they don't. Through struggle and math that I can't be bothered to explain, we eventually figured it out. These are the rough times, and the rate score decays if you go above the time. More or less, at least. Why are some so uneven? Who knows? Objective bonus. Oh my goodness, where do I begin?
420!
420! What the fuck, bro? What the fuck?
No.
No way!
This used to be one of the most simple score types of every other mode. A constant value you get per section cleared. We can now begin to express our confusion when we started playing the mode. It was so unpredictable. We play the same every run, but it's just not the same. 318, 311, 350, 420, 445, 388. What the hell are these numbers? So like, Orisa gives objective bonus. Kill both of them in stage 1, you get 445 score. Except when you don't. Sometimes you get 381, sometimes 420. Why? Meet this little chest. Slippery little bastard. These things are actually pretty important. Sure, they give stats, but they also give score.
No.
You get 4 guaranteed at the start, with extra spawning in at key parts, in one of 7 locations. For example, you can get a chest during the 75 kill section at around 20 kills. Except when you don't. Like, actually, sometimes the chest doesn't spawn, and it only happens with this section. It seems purely random. Well, that's annoying. Loss of score and upgrades for no reason. It gets even more silly, however. I'll give more simple example numbers, because these numbers are just way too silly. For example, if we don't get a chest, we get 100 score. If we have a chest, there's 2 outcomes. If we don't open it, we get 50 score. If we open it, we get 150. Why? It almost feels intentional. Why else would you actually lose score if you didn't open the chest? You gain a different amount if it doesn't spawn. What the hell? Anyway, for max score, we must kill the 2 Orisas, find a chest that sometimes doesn't spawn, and we should be good, right? Well, no. We tried carrying over an Orisa to the next kill section to see what happens. Turns out we get more objective bonus this way. Why? Who knows? Guess you have a bigger multiplier during the stage. So that's the strat now. It can't get any more silly than this, right? Say hello to this guy. In the 100 kill section, at 2 key parts you will get a Ramatra spawn. Except when they don't. Like, actually, they don't spawn sometimes. He plays the sound, but no Ramatra. Well, that's terrible. We just learned that bosses give objective bonus, so that's just more score lost for no reason. More RNG! But what if I told you? That's just what we thought. We do some more runs, we get a double fake spawn, we're annoyed, but we keep going. Then we suddenly get the greatest objective bonus we've ever had. Still is, we haven't gotten higher than this. What? More testing later, we discover if the Ramatra doesn't spawn, you get the same objective you would have gotten if you had to kill it. What the fuck, man? Basically, that means we actually want to hope that he doesn't spawn. If he does spawn, we waste too much time killing him, so we lose a lot of time bonus. That's so counterintuitive, it's just silly. Can't get any worse than that, right? Like, what else could possibly go wrong? Well, guess what? It gets funnier. I had a silly idea once. We got a real spawn, but we just ignored them. Know what happened?
Did it say 700 objective bonus? Wait.
That's really good. That's really good, considering the Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. You're right, the score
Yeah,
picked
it
up.
did.
Right?
It actually did show objective. It is full objective we got.
What the heck?
This game is terrible. I'm running out of words to describe how damn silly this is. We went full cycle, we wanted real spawns, then fake spawns, and now a mix of both. Man. So now, we want the first one to be fake to not lose time, and the second one to be real to be used for later. We carry the second one over to the final 200 kill section to have extra minions at the beginning, then we kill him before a boss appears. Time bonus is very strict in that section, so having him is very good. The 200 kill section is pretty simple in comparison, not too many special tricks, we just have to kill everyone quickly, just gotta remember to get 2 extra chests at some point. That summarizes objective bonus, more or less. There is actually a lot more bullshit to tell, but I can't be bothered to try and explain it. The brain damage I've developed from this is immaculate, but we're still not done. Finally, we got kill score. You'd think this is simple, which is what we thought too. A Zomnig gives 10 score on kill. If a Zomnig blows up, you gain 0 score, but the total kill count progresses, so that is score ultimately lost. Have to avoid that. Also, each section has a kill score cap, but it's a bit weird. When you approach it, you start getting half score per Zomnig kill, which is kinda annoying, but oh well. Then, Orysas give 100 score, bosses give 200, except Moira, she gives 150, and then Ramatras gives 0 score. Because why not? Really simple. Well, no. We noticed that a pretty good run of ours suddenly was really bad. But why is score very low? What the fuck? The Hog's supposed to give 200 on death, he gave 100.
What the heck?
Wait. Oh
What?
no. I think we might have had too many kills. Like too many overkills.
You think? Oh, do you think we can?
So, yeah, so we reached
Oh
the
my
point
gosh.
where it gives off the point.
Wait,
Dude.
wait,
So
no,
dumb.
no, no,
We were too good.
no.
Wow. The game actually sabotages us because we're too good.
This is completely stupid. For example, if we have extra time, we allow as many minions to spawn as we can, then we progress to the next stage. Well, guess what? That is going to give us less score, because if we kill them, then the boss gives half score. Fucking hell, man. The funny doesn't end here, though. Remember how I said Moira gives 150? Doesn't that sound weird? Why does Hog and Ball give 200, but the final boss gives 150? That sounds wrong. Because it is wrong. Imagine we've been actively losing score from Moira too.
Oh no.
Wait a minute.
Oh gosh.
Wait a minute.
Oh gosh.
She
That
gets
would actually make some
She
sense.
gets 150. Why would she give less? No. We need to go test that right now.
This is so insanely dumb.
Yep.
Like, who thought this was a good idea? Purple!
I hate this game! She gave 300! No!
300? No!
Dude, what the heck?
This is so dumb.
This gotta go down in history as one of the dumbest scoring systems.
Yeah. I can't think of anything worse.
This whole time, for like 50 hours, half our playtime, I shit you not, we always thought that Moira gives 150 score, because we never got 300, ever. This game fucking sucks, man. Okay, I think that is everything with scoring. The amount of RNG we need for a good run is already incredible, but I haven't even talked about the things that aren't directly linked to the score. There's more fucking RNG! Fortunately, we don't need brain damage to understand these. From those chests mentioned earlier, they give stat increases. Health and move speed are debatable on which is better, so I won't talk about them too much. Damage is greatly preferred. We want a little bit of attack speed, but not much. Fortunately, damage seems to be more common, but it still doesn't stop this from happening sometimes. While attack speed sounds nice on paper, it doesn't improve our damage where it matters most, like EMP, Barrage, and Zarya's power-ups. If it does, it really doesn't feel like it. Speaking of power-ups, there are game-changing power-ups you get per boss in Loot Goblin. There's 4 of them per hero, and only like 1 of them is actually very good, while the rest are either kind of okay or just near useless. For example, Zarya is bottom tier until you get her primary or personal barrier upgrade. Then she becomes the strongest hero in the mode, with both she's a monster. The rest are just meh. Pharah is a bit more debatable, but you almost always want the primary upgrade, second being the jump jet upgrade, then homing missiles. The punch is only good for mobility, which if you know what you're doing is not really needed. Sombra and Olari have upgrades that increase damage dealt to bosses. These are insane. They make killing bosses so much faster. The other upgrades just don't compete in comparison at all. You can clearly see the problem. Without good power-ups, it's really difficult to keep pace to not lose too much time bonus. It's so annoying to get a really good run going, but then just get the worst upgrades for everyone. It's a 1 in 4 chance for most heroes. If we don't get like 2 from the first boss, it's really difficult to get max time bonus. Speaking of bosses, this fucking shit! There's 3 Orisa variants that you can face. First places ice walls around, not too problematic. Second throws blizzards around, slowing you heavily. Annoying, but doable. Then there's the fucking shield. Whose idea was it to give them an invincible shield? This thing is so much worse than the other two. Killing minions becomes difficult, extremely difficult sometimes. Killing the Orisa itself takes longer too, because the shield is simply troublesome. Best tactic we've developed is to lure it into this corridor and cheese it. Though this will almost always lose us some time. Plus, we're vulnerable to yellow Zomnics. We have Pharah stay out and kill minions, but even with perfect gameplay, it may not be possible to lose out on time. It really depends on how many double spawns we get. Speaking of, this will be our final topic, the way the minions spawn in this mode. They follow a somewhat simple pattern. There's 3 spots they can spawn on the map. First is this main area, second is on the spawn side, third is this low ground and beyond. Let's call them middle, spawn, and corner for now. First wave always spawns middle, then spawn, then corner, and it loops. Only thing that changes is the position they appear. These spots are the same every game, they just don't appear in the same order. So if you memorize them, you can roughly always know where to expect them next. Depending on the position, it will spawn the same amount of enemies each time. This particular spot, for example, always spawns 5 purple Zomnics. This one 3 yellows, 2 blues, and so on. Usually, it's always 5 minions. There's this one particular wave that comes from the spawn side that is 4 blues. That sounds bad enough, these guys can be painful. But man, why couldn't have been 5 blues? This is terrible. It just makes us need to potentially get through one more wave, which can be a huge time loss. It's even more annoying if we get this wave as a double spawn. It's one mechanic we still don't fully understand. For all we know, it's just purely random. But sometimes, you can get 2 waves at once. How many RNG mechanics are we at already? Without these, it's basically impossible to get max time bonus for most of the sections. They just don't spawn quick enough otherwise. Apart from that though, they spawn pretty consistently. Except when they don't! We've recently had cases where they spawn twice as slow. Some of our very best runs we've ever had fell victim to this bug. No idea what causes it. It has happened like 3 times and only on our best of the best runs. Fuck's sake, man. Okay, think I'm done rambling. Hope you enjoyed the summary of the bullshit we had to go through for like 100 hours. I could have went on, but it's already been long enough. I remember when I wanted the ramble to be less than 3 minutes long. Welp. Here's the best run we've had. It ain't the run I was hoping for. Honestly, some parts were very scuffed after I look back into it. But it be what it be. We tried.
T left, wall.
High corner.
Yellows, T left. Backstairs.
There's yellows.
Upstairs.
Pylon's down.
Chest on the balcony.
Okay, I'm going for ult. Getting chest.
Yellows, T left. Dead.
Couple blues behind. No. Behind throne. Left.
Blues.
Going behind.
Backstairs, blue. Yellow's T right.
Right. Mid.
Yellow's throw.
Yellows. Nice.
You can kill.
I got a good one.
There's a pickup up there.
Oh. Got it. High corner.
Upstairs.
High corner.
One yellow here still.
To left.
Backstairs.
One yellow, one blue in
yellow.
the back as well. Two blues in the back.
Got a Ramatra.
Bunch of yellow's wall. Arc.
Man.
Island down for now. Back up.
Forgot to concuss it before I ulted.
Wanna go on him?
Yeah. Man, so many yellows.
Back in 1 second. Yeah, too many enemies body blocking him. Well, I'm fine with him going here.
Did we find a box?
Not yet,
No.
I don't think.
It's not in corridor. And not in balcony.
It's not
Must
corner.
be in spawn.
Okay.
Drone, backstairs.
It's not spawn. Are you sure it's neither of the other places? Oh, it's here. It's here.
Okay.
Backstairs, I think. And low, mid stairs. Wall,
My corner.
mid stairs.
97. 98. 99.
Just killed next.
Throne.
Wait, I didn't get all the upgrades.
Yellows,
There's
There's
backstairs.
backstairs.
There's a lot of blues here. I'm kinda surrounded and can't move. Okay, that's fine. The freeze is kinda safe.
He's still focusing my pylon again.
There's a blue in the back, by the
How
way.
many was backstairs?
2?
Well, I think one yellow blew up before the cutscene. So if it was a normal spawn group, I think it would have only been 4 that were actually killed.
Okay, +3 from the blues. So that should be fine. Look for spawns. We got spawns.
Yeah.
There is yellows, so watch out.
I got the damage increase.
Oh, I put virus on him, that was dumb. It's spreading to all of them!
It's fine. Our second spawn was a fake.
Well, our score seems normal.
Yeah. And I do have my 3 best upgrades right now.
Same.
Throne.
Our damage is meh.
Yeah.
I mean, could be worse. He left.
If we get a fake from Matro, that could potentially be a blessed run. Though.
Throne to left.
It's a shield.
Yay.
Mid.
Spawns right outside here.
Fake.
Fake.
Yay.
Ungrateful spawn.
Chest corner.
Over there.
Getting it.
Blues in spawn.
Coming to hell. Oh, we have 2 people here already. Mid.
The balcony.
Was there a double spawn?
Yep.
Looks like it.
Backstairs.
High corner.
That insta spear nearly killed me. Throw in the back. I'm coming up an EMP, but we might
Backstairs,
just
coming.
kill her.
Wall, to right.
Wall.
To right.
A lot of blues.
Yeah, they might destroy my pylon.
More blues coming out.
We can kill.
Kill him after.
He's in the back corner, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Mid stairs.
Blues, yellows coming.
I'm hacking.
Rest in peace. Low ground.
Mid.
Mid.
Another fake.
Question.
Oh.
Just in case.
Check spawn and
Okay.
case.
I got the other
Backstairs.
chest. He's not here.
He's
Okay,
not
we got
here either.
both chests. Question mark.
Yes.
Okay.
Wall.
Wall.
And throne. Double spawn.
Trojan horse.
Behind throne.
Still
Yep.
prone, it sounds.
Just kill. Time is actually decent.
Balcony.
Keep an eye on the stuff we kill.
I think we might have gotten 3 or 4 overkills.
We got another wave
Yeah.
on prone.
Okay. The wave she spawns later, don't kill anything there.
I'm hacking the Orisa.
That Orisa not get 4? Am I going crazy?
I didn't notice.
I didn't notice.
Don't kill these.
We got yellows, so watch out.
Is she not TPing?
Huh.
Nope.
Sure.
I can sense your fear.
She's almost dead. She died.
Kill minions. 981.
Man. Almost there.
Yep. 19 away.
From the 17k?
Yep.
Oh, so we got the 16.9 at last. You guys sound so disappointed.
It's
so close
19
to-
away from the 17.
Yeah.
I was like second guessing myself if we actually got an improvement.
Oh, we lost
I
40.
mean, hey, that's really
Objectives
good.
of-
Still.
Oh my god, that's so painful.
Oh
The
man.
random minus 40.
Okay, it's literally a single pixel away from 5 stars.